You're watching Meet the Movie Press, and coming up, there aren't a lot of big stories to be talking about, so we may just talk about Cobra Kai for the hour. Stay tuned!
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies. And now, here's Popcorn Talk's Meet the Movie Press.
Oh, yeah. Nice one. That's
Thank
good.
you.
You should get a job doing that.
I even did the hand movements.
Welcome to Meet the Movie Press here on the Popcorn Talk Network.
Yeah.
I am your host, Jeff Snyder, at The InSnyder on Twitter and Instagram. And with me, as always...
Simon Thompson, at Showbiz Simon on Instagram and Twitter. And you can see my work a lot of places, including a couple of nice things got up on Forbes this week.
Ooh, Forbes.
Including something on Cobra Kai.
Oh, yeah.
Cobra Kai.
Guys, I obviously have not been doing much this week, if you can't tell. So I delved into the Kai. I was living that Cobra Kai life this week.
Living the Kai life.
And it was pretty good.
It is pretty good.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. A lot of people are surprised.
I know. Well, I think it's the surprise is Zabka.
Yeah.
Because he was just sort of like 80s bad guy and nothing more than that. But he's actually not bad. I mean, no, seriously.
Yeah, no, true. Although, okay, no, you make your point and I'll talk about it.
He was kind of just known as this 80s bad guy, and then he kind of disappeared for 20 years, and it turns out he's actually not that bad an actor. He's interesting. He looks like an older Ryan Gosling.
Yeah. I had a chat with him and Ralph Macchio. So excited about that. For
Still
Forbes.
pinching himself.
And no, literally, I was squealing a little bit. And when I was speaking to Bill, I was talking about the other roles that he's done and the fact that there aren't many. But you forget that he was in Vacation as the boyfriend. He's great in that. He was in the Back to School. That was really good. And also, he played the son in The Equalizer, Edward Woodward's son.
Oh, okay.
Which is easy for you to say. Edward Woodward. Who wouldn't? But yeah, he was great in that, and that is his favourite role was playing the son in The Equalizer.
Interesting.
Yeah, but no, he's great. But no, I was really pleased to see him back, and I really like those two guys together. Ralph Macchio still looks 9.
The show it has a good
Benjamin Button.
tone. It has a good sense of humor about itself, I think.
Which I was worried about.
Yeah. I mean, hey, you don't mess with the Karate Kid.
No.
But
one of the greatest films of all time.
Right, but this has been very respectful, and I approve. So go sign up for YouTube Red and check out.
Tell you what we should do.
What?
We should take our women. And we should go to, Karate Club, when they go to that fun park where like the crazy golf and shit.
I don't know if
that still exists. We should do that.
Oh, yes.
What did you think I was suggesting?
No, nothing.
Like a swingers party?
We are down to go to a theme park very soon. May is the month where we go to, like a Disney or a Six Flags or something.
Okay.
On a Monday, because she said.
So is that like when in your relationship, let's have a little insight into your life. Is that how you judge how serious the thing is? Like, whoa, okay, yeah, we can do this, but theme parks come later, honey. Hold, cool.
That's a big step. That's a big step.
Yeah, wow, that is commitment.
Are you trying to get me into a conversation about the sign that was on the door?
No, I'm not. No. I was just saying.
Okay,
Good
so
to know.
Let's see. Did you do anything fun this week?
What did I do?
You said you saw a good movie recently.
Yeah, I saw one of the movies which really surprised me. I think it's one of my favorites of the year. If not,
you're not breaking embargo by talking about this.
No,
yet.
I'm not. No, because I was allowed to tweet about it. But
I know the director and the writer and the producer.
Yeah, they're amazing. I'm not gonna. I mean, there has been no embargo.
Say it.
Book Club. Which stars like
Candice
Bergen, who's amazing. She says "fuck." I loved seeing her swear. By the way, that was
Jane Fonda.
Jane Fonda. Don Johnson, Mary Steenburgen. It is a movie that a lot of people will dismiss as being for A, women, and B, older women.
Right.
It's seriously, I am a 40-something-year-old guy, and I absolutely love this movie. It is so sharply observed. The characters are amazing. The talent is absolutely amazing. It makes you realize how crap some of the people that we accept in movies these days are. They're effortlessly great. And I laughed so hard so many times, and I cried. Genuinely, it left me the most satisfied.
It could be
that
this
I've
year's
come out of a
Girls
movie.
Trip, like that movie that just totally surprised you. You think it's one thing, it turns out to be another.
I really think it's going to be, and it's really good for Paramount because this was made as an indie movie, and then
Right, they
Paramount
picked it up.
bought it. So this is not a studio movie. This is not like BS. Seriously, it has everything from dick jokes through to really tender relationship moments. And oh my god, Don Johnson and Jane Fonda together are just awesome. I love this movie
Give them
so
their
much.
own show.
Seriously, it is one of my favorite movies I've seen this year. Don't discount
I thought
it.
the trailers made it look really good.
It is.
I met Bill and Aaron at an event. I don't know if it was
They're
earlier this
awesome.
year or late last year, but they were wonderful people. And yeah, I'm really rooting for that movie to succeed and find an audience.
Yeah.
I saw a great movie myself yesterday.
What did you see, Jeffrey?
I went to a matinee showing of The Rider. Have you seen this movie?
I have not seen it. I need to go
I'll
and
be
see
honest,
it.
it's one of those movies that I resisted seeing because I was like, horse movie. It seems slow. It seems boring. This movie was fucking incredible. Definitely go see The Rider. Take your wife. She'll like it.
Okay.
I think. I
She's
don't know.
not scared of horses, so otherwise that would be... Can you imagine?
I just thought it was fantastic. Chloe Zhao, wow. I mean, shit.
Yeah.
She, Marvel would be lucky to have her. She was rumored to be on that short list, which I guess is one of the things we can talk about. It was maybe the only big franchise thing this week.
Coming out of Kroll.
Was a Kroll tweet saying that more than 65 women, or 65 directors, excuse me, have met for the Black Widow job. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're all female directors. If I was Marvel, I would meet with male directors. I mean, if a guy has a good take on this and a good entry point, then they should hire him. Frankly, I don't think that this demands a female director. I don't think any movie demands a female director or a male director. It's whoever is the best person for the job. But for all we know, it could be 65 women.
Yeah.
And I think on last week's show we already talked about 5 of them.
We did.
Were there any new names that came to the surface? I mean, you have to assume everybody's taking a meeting.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming
Anna
this
Lily
is a
Amirpour's
massive
gotta have
assumption.
had a meeting.
Yeah, I'm going to assume that they're going to, certainly if they're coming from, I think they will obviously look at a number of women because I think obviously that paid off very well for Warner Brothers, and I think they will understand the character in a different way to perhaps some men do. But I would be really excited to see them talk to some of the men who really have a strong background in character and action.
Yeah.
Someone like, and I'm not saying this is going to happen, but someone like a Tarantino, where you can, if you're, it depends on where they set it, but when it has that kind of characterization, it has that kind of acting, it has that kind of perhaps like Captain Marvel, a
great
retro
female-driven action.
He does, absolutely.
That's fine.
So
Obviously,
someone
it's
like
not going to be him.
No. I'm not saying it's going to be Tarantino.
If like a guy like David Leitch came to you,
Yeah.
and he said, "I want to do Black Widow," how do you not hire him?
Yeah. And I think you need someone who can perhaps take it a little bit dark as well, because I think you can still service all the kind of the Marvel tropes, as I'll call them now, the kind of little nuances and characterizations.
So, anyways, what was funny to me about this is like, it got picked up as a Twitter moment.
Yeah.
Which is just I like the Moments team. They've been very good to me on Twitter. I just don't know how this becomes a moment. The entire internet ran stories about it. There's a reason Kroll didn't write a story about it. It's not a story. It's a tweet. He knew that. I just love it. Like a fun fact tweet gets blown into a story. Marvel's just doing its due diligence. They should be meeting with 65 directors on every fucking project, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
This is just executives earning their paychecks. So it's just funny to me what gets blown up into an actual story today.
Yeah. So you have a relationship with the Moments team. We should talk about that.
I don't have a relationship with them. I feel like they have been very good to me. I feel like I'm in Moments a lot, which I appreciate. Yeah.
I would watch Jeff's Moments if that was like a thing. If that was like a Hallmark
Jeff's
movie,
Moments.
that'd be beautiful.
I would love to curate for a big place like that.
Are you available at all?
I am. Can you believe it?
Really? Tell us a bit about that. Where can people contact you, Jeff?
At theinsnider@gmail.com.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Lovely.
But now I just gave my email out on the air, and that could be a problem.
Just put a 1 on it.
Thanks a lot for that, Simon.
It's okay. I was gonna say Twitter, but then you went the whole.
We'll edit that out.
Yeah, it's all right.
Probably not.
If we edit.
How about the solo movie?
If we edited the show, it'd be like 3 minutes long.
Yeah. All your dick jokes would just be gone.
It'd just be dick jokes.
Han Solo. Let's talk about the fucking Solo movie.
Let's talk about it.
Tracking to open at $160 to $170 million.
Yeah.
What do you think the interest like, what is the thing that's getting people to the movies? Is it to actually find out about the origin of Han Solo? Is that actually interesting to people?
Do you know what I'm really confused?
Is it Donald Glover?
I'm confused and slightly surprised by this because my first impression, I haven't seen Solo. I didn't like a lot of the trailers running up to it. The last trailer I actually really enjoyed, and I'm seeing it on Thursday. I'm luckily going to the premiere. But I'm not feeling on the street the excitement for Solo that I have felt for some of the other even recent Star Wars movies.
To me, it seems like there's more buzz for Deadpool 2.
Yeah, so when
I could be wrong on that.
and even sort of presence on billboards and bus sides and stuff like that. And I don't know what it's like outside of LA, but I'm just going from the LA experience. So I'm quite surprised that the tracking for this is quite so high. It is clearly going to do very well, and I'm hoping that if it is good, the word of mouth will be very good as well. But I'm just quite surprised that this buzz on the street, and I'm talking about normal people, not just the film community, normal people who it just doesn't seem to be quite where it is. As you say, Deadpool is what everybody seems to be talking
to the
about.
Normal people.
Well, no, I just try and separate because
we
we do sometimes live in a bubble, and a lot of people who watch this show and interact on Twitter, we live in a bubble. What an amazing fucking bubble! But there you go. So I'm quite surprised. I think it can do it. I don't know what the attraction is. I'm going to assume overriding it is because it's a Star Wars movie over a story about Han Solo. Because that's kind of my gut feeling. But I'm open
160 to 170
a
good opening for that? It seems like it.
Yeah, I would have said 140, 150 as to be quite realistic and perhaps cautious. But I think it's doable. But I don't think we're going to see like sort of Avengers Infinity War level 200 plus levels. I think it is going to be around that middle to high 100 pluses. But we'll see. I mean, if the tracking says that, maybe that's right. But as you've said previously many times before, the tracking can be off. But it's coming out in May. May the 4th be with you. Star Wars is always a big May month. There's a lot of stuff around it. People, I think, will be coming off Avengers. The buzz from that will have gone down, and it'll rise up again for this next one. And then it'll drop again, and it'll be Jurassic World. Lost Kingdom will be the next one that I think people are going to go crazy. I think this is going to come out around Deadpool. It's going to be a bit of a battle. The team behind Ocean's
8 is very disappointed in you.
Well, I mean, I'm interested in that movie, but I'm not as excited in this summer as that. So we'll see. I'm a little bit surprised that it's quite so high, but it's not an entire surprise.
And so, do we ever get the answer on the credit situation behind this movie? It's going to be a Ron Howard film.
Ron Howard movie with credits for Lord and Miller.
EP credits, right? Okay.
Yeah, as I understand it.
Because there was another credit situation people had a lot of questions about, and I got a little bit of an answer, at least.
Okay.
We're actually going to go into some detail on this one, because I got a spy report. Came in late last night about the film Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah.
I am told that it does feature a Bryan Singer directed by credit.
Interesting.
So, and that is in the opening credits, which I don't know if that's the right move. I think if I'm Fox, I put the credits at the end of the movie. I don't know if you want to have that association with the Bryan Singer stuff right up front. So apparently he is in the opening credits. I don't know if Dexter Fletcher had a credit or not. The spy was not able to tell me. He said the movie was about 2.5 hours.
Yep.
Said it starts slow, but it hits its stride 15 minutes in. And the same goes for Rami Malek's performance. That at first it starts a little rough, and then he disappears into the role. I'm told all the performances all the way around were pretty good. This source really liked the movie. They said that Rami Malek could very well be a Best Actor nominee next year.
Yeah.
Best Picture may be a tougher row to hoe. That's I was like, that's the phrase, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I'm told that Bohemian Rhapsody doesn't really follow the typical biopic formula of like a rise and fall. It ends with the Queen performance at Live Aid instead of staying with Friday as he dies from AIDS. Although there is a scene where he informs his bandmates, and you do hear his voice. Him struggling with his voice as he starts to get a little bit sick. I'm told that there's a really cool opening where the Queen guitars play the 20th Century Fox Overture.
That's cool.
That is really cool. Overall they said it was just much better than they were expecting based on, what they'd heard about the shoot. Mike Myers is in this movie. he has a like a cameo.
Really?
Do you remember that? Yeah. Because he was sort of repopularized Queen with Wayne's World. So I guess his bit is like as a record exec who tells them after listening to Bohemian Rhapsody that this isn't the type of song that will have kids driving in their cars banging their heads.
Genius.
So it's
that is nice.
It is. It's a meta thing. I'm really looking forward to this. I missed the presentation at CinemaCon, as I said.
Yeah.
Fox's presentation, but this movie went over really well.
Awesome.
And it features all of Singer's regular crew, and we'll see what the future holds for that movie.
Yeah.
With the Singer stuff sort of moving over it as a dark cloud.
I'm looking forward to it as a movie. I mean, the whole Singer stuff, as murky and dirty as it is, it's not going to stop me seeing this movie. I don't know what that says. That's a large discussion, but it won't stop me doing it. And I am genuinely impressed with it. But that's not the first time I've heard someone this week sing the praises of that movie. And there's another movie that I overheard a conversation, and this was at the Four Seasons in Beverly Hills the other day, and we've discussed the film previously on the show, A Star Is Born.
Yeah.
Now I know people who've seen the movie, and I've been around people who've been having conversations about it. I think A Star Is Born is going to be a really big deal for Warner this year. The more I hear about it, the more that people are. Someone described it this week as a gem. And the best thing to happen to Warner in a long time. So I really think that A Star Is Born is going to be a movie that some people who aren't aware right now, it's going to come out of nowhere for them and take them from the side, and it's going to be
a big Oscar nominee.
Yeah, I really
seems
think
like
it is
almost certain to be
how it's shaping up right now.
A Golden Globe nominee, it seems like. I don't know if they would submit that, though, as a musical or as a drama.
Well, yeah, it'll be interesting to see which way they go with it.
Right.
And obviously, I don't know if there are going to be any original numbers in there, so whether they're going to go for Best Original Song or what the deal is with that.
I see.
That could be something they could do. I don't know if that is the case.
I heard Stephanie Germanotta is excellent.
Ah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm genuinely looking forward to seeing it. But yeah, I think Star Is Born is going to be the one this year that is going to be, it's for some people going to come out of left field and is going to be
These movies
the
could
one.
find themselves up against each other
It'll be interesting.
In the race, yeah. Speaking of musicals.
Yes, I do like a musical.
Spamalot.
Yes.
Is now in development at Fox. Eric Idle apparently writing the script. Is this ever going to happen? Probably not.
I think it will.
Yeah?
I think it will.
It seems like a tricky play to adapt as a film. I'll put it this way. I don't think it will happen, but I've learned not to doubt Fox after The Greatest Showman, because I was definitely...
That was going to be my point.
Who's the audience for this? And they proved me wrong there. So maybe this will get made and become a big hit. I just... I was never like a Monty Python guy, so this means...
No, I'm hit and miss with Monty Python. Some of their films I like, some of their sketches I like, but I'm not diehard. I really think this will happen, and Greatest Showman was an example that I was going to use. I think because that took it so well, that did show that people will go and see certain musicals. And again, we've got a couple coming up in the next couple of years. We've got Cats, we've got Mamma Mia later in the year. We've got a couple coming out that I think are going to reignite amongst a mass audience.
Is there anything out there on Cats yet?
No, not that I've heard.
I keep hearing Anne Hathaway.
Well, that was mentioned a long time ago.
And Rihanna.
Yeah, that would work. That would definitely put bums on seats.
Anne Hathaway 100%. And Rihanna. I mean, they're in Ocean's 8 together.
That is true, actually.
So,
but yeah, no, I see this happening. Obviously, for those of you that don't know, if you don't know, Spamalot was basically a musical that was derived or inspired by the Holy Grail Monty Python movie. Now, I think this would work because obviously then you have the massive success of Spamalot, which continues to tour worldwide, and is still really, really selling particularly well. It's a great musical. It was done really well. It's a favourite of mine. You've got the popularity and the heritage of Monty Python, which is always a really good sell, especially when it comes to sort of that target audience to get bums on seats. I think musicals are back in vogue. I think, after Greatest Showman, I think particularly for Fox, they will be looking for something else of that oeuvre, and I think this could be it. This has then that pre-built-in audience, which is an extra appeal. I think this will happen, and I think it could be very successful. I'm very intrigued to see it because Obviously, it happened with Hairspray. Hairspray was a John Waters movie that then became a musical, that then became a musical movie. It doesn't happen too often, but it does happen. And Hairspray was not a massive hit, but it was a hit. There is an audience that will do this. You know, you've got the matinee crowds, the people who sometimes don't even go to the movie theaters. They can't access musicals, and they will turn out for this. I think this is a really good idea, and I think it will happen.
Wonderful.
And I look forward to it.
There's another musical that I've had questions about. It's been development on the sly.
Yeah.
I mean, no one has written about this in years. I actually broke the news about this, and it was the first scoop ever broken on Vine, as far as I know. What is going on with Baz Luhrmann's Elvis movie at Warner Brothers?
That sounded like a Jerry Seinfeld. Hey,
what's the deal with Baz Luhrmann? Yeah.
Oh my God!
But seriously, no one has asked about this. He's done with the Netflix show, the Get Down, right?
Yep.
That was canceled. Like, no one has been looking into what Baz Luhrmann is working on next. I'm pretty sure Elvis is inching closer and closer. I don't know who they're ultimately going to hire. I think someone like Miles Teller would be really interesting. And it seems like he can pick up the instrument stuff with the Whiplash, and he could also play Elvis a little bit heavier. I know that they have also, and this was a name that came up very early in the conversations with Harry Styles. I mean, he just did Dunkirk at Warner Brothers. So that studio has a relationship with Harry.
That is a really good call.
And Harry would work for Baz Luhrmann.
And someone else that I was thinking about, and again, this will tie into a story that we're going to discuss potentially later on, is Taron Egerton. Because I think Taron, and obviously he's Elton John.
Yeah, so you think he'd make a better Elvis?
I think he would be a really good Elvis. I think those three names.
You can't play both. You can't play Elvis and Elton John.
Can't you?
I don't think you can.
That's like saying you can't be in Marvel and DC movies.
No, it's not. No, it's not like saying that.
No, it's not. No, that
was good.
No, thank you. No, it's not. You're wrong. They're three good names, but I think they would. All of those to me would work. Or Kevin Hart.
It's just one I'm keeping
Kevin Hart
tabs on out of the corner of my eye. Kevin Hart is Elvis. Yeah.
I'm Elvis.
Maybe the Black Elvis
with the Rock as his manager, the Colonel.
What's next? What's next on your list?
Okay, let's talk about Taron. Let's go back to Taron very quickly and talk about the Elton John movie. Now, we were talking about this earlier. It's kind of old news, but it's come up again recently because Taron has started doing stuff around the new Robin Hood movie. Yeah, I'm so not excited for that movie. So the Rocket Man, which is the Elton John movie, a lot of people have assumed and continue to assume that it is actually going to be a biopic or biopic. It's actually not. It's being described by Taron as a fantasy musical, which I think I prefer to a biopic as an idea, because I see that potentially going along, a really nice sort of visual and musical route, kind of a slightly different journey, kind of like a Moonwalker type experience, which I think would be really, really good. It also then opens up the opportunity for some fresh stuff from Elton, which I think would be really good. So I'm that actually really, I would have watched a biopic, but a fantasy musical really appeals to me a lot more. And it makes sense, because to utilize Elton's catalogue to tell a narrative, works really good. It's worked.
I'm a big Elton John fan. I'm glad that it's sort of doing a twist on the traditional biopic.
One of my favourite movies that has utilised a songbook is the one that Dexter Fletcher did a few years, Sunshine on Leith, for the Proclaimers. Let me tell you about
Sunshine on Leith.
Who used the music of the Proclaimers to tell the narrative of this soldier. It's seriously good. You've seen that movie, right?
If you open the door an inch for Simon to talk about Sunshine on Leith, he will.
It's a great movie. If you haven't seen it, you should see it.
He's like, my friends from Leith.
Seriously, my boys. My boys in Leith. No, but seriously, that is a really, really good, really good example of using music to tell a narrative.
Well, there's another musician biopic, in a sense, on the way. Did you hear that Jake Gyllenhaal is going to play Leonard Bernstein in Cary Fukunaga's The American?
Yes.
He's a composer, right?
Yep.
Yeah. The American
You know who he is, right? Leonard Bernstein.
Why don't you tell us?
He's one of the greatest sort of songwriters, singer-songwriters, musicians, composers, however you want to call him in American history.
Is he better than Gershwin?
He's up there with Gershwin. Seriously,
I don't even know.
I don't even know what a Gershwin is.
The American, though, not a great title, generic title, and it's already been taken by George Clooney. You can't make another The American
Music Man.
This I always thought Spielberg was doing the Leonard Bernstein movie. That was something he was developing, or so I thought. With what's his name, Zachary Quinto.
Yeah, that rings a bell.
Yeah.
But I like this. But I mean, if you don't know,
it's different for Jake. Jake working with Cary Fukunaga sounds like a good pairing.
Yeah.
I'll be there opening night.
Yeah.
I don't miss an opening night for my boy Jake.
I mean, I'm still smarting from the fact that Stronger wasn't a big hit last year, because that was just such an. If you haven't seen it, it's now available to stream and to buy on VOD and in all good retailers. Hard format forever. But you should check out Stronger. Jake, I love Jake in most things.
Let's talk about a couple of Lupita Nyong'o projects.
Yes.
First up, she's going to star in a remake of John Woo's The Killer that John Woo is directing himself. John Woo has a new movie out today on Netflix, right? Manhunt.
Yep.
Man, I have been sitting on that story for like a fucking year or something. John Woo remaking his own movie, The Killer, with a female lead. I did not know that it would be Lupita, I don't think. But yeah, man. He's been trying to get this off the ground for a year. Lupita, I don't know about this one. Simon?
I do.
I don't know about this one.
I don't know about this one. I do. I like this.
What do you think?
I really like the idea.
You think she could
really like
play?
the idea. I love The Killer.
Yeah.
Not to be confused.
It's good.
Not to be confused with the Ashton Kutcher, Katherine Heigl.
Killers. It's just Killers.
Yeah.
I don't know if I see Lupita in something like this. It seems like it could be anybody. I don't know.
There are probably other people that I would have put in this as leads if they were looking for someone who was female. But I think it's something different to what she has done already, and I think that will count in her favor.
She's wonderful. I've never been disappointed by Lupita Nyong'o.
I like it because it's something different for her. I would be interested to.
She also signed on to star in a female spy movie. Now, I think this is more up her alley. It's called 355. It's starring Jessica Chastain, who apparently came from her and her production company.
Yeah.
She brought it to Simon Kinberg on the script on the set of Dark Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
Simon Kinberg is going to be directing it. It's going to co-star Marion Cotillard, Penelope Cruz, and Fan Bingbing. It blows my mind that because you need an Asian actress, a Chinese actress in this movie to sell the film to China, that she's now elevated to like this icon status with the rest of these women. It's really something. Fan Bingbing and all these people who, it's like they're just so generic. They play the Chinese girl, and it's as blatant as that. It's as token as that, and it's frustrating. There's no character there ever. Can't wait to see what they do with Meg.
Yes.
She and Meg? I don't want to confuse her.
Let me check before we start an incident.
Right. No, nobody's trying to start an incident.
No, I know. But obviously, you just have to be super careful with these things because
it's so
people can get upset.
transparent. You know, when you cast some of these Chinese actresses to play the Chinese woman.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree.
To get the movie into China.
Yeah.
Let's give these women characters to play, for Christ's sake.
It is Bing Bing Lee.
Yeah, I thought it was somebody different.
Bing,
that's why I wanted to make sure. It's just like it's the two of them.
No, I 100% agree.
A handful of others, and they're better. They're better than this.
But it's not just with Asian actors. It's like if you're going to cast someone to have them in because you want an Asian character, give them something to do, have a point for them. Don't just do it because you want to shoehorn someone in, and that's the same for any minority.
Because that is how
it's
that's
counterproductive
how it
otherwise. Yeah, I agree. That's true. The Meg, by the way, is one of the movies that I'm most looking forward to this summer.
I know. We know Jason Statham.
Okay.
So apparently Chastain, Cotillard, Fan Bingbing, Penelope Cruz, Lupita Nyong'o, they're all going to play the heads of like respective intelligence agencies from different countries who all get embroiled in this cat and mouse, spy thing. It sounds really interesting, and I definitely like that ensemble.
Yeah.
I don't know why they don't have a female director on this. Like Simon Kinberg, really? This guy doesn't have his hands in enough projects. He can't act as a producer on this and hire a female director. Like, come on.
Fair point. But sometimes if there's a project
I know we
that
just
I
talked about it with Black Widow, how you don't need a female director for this, but this is one where...
I get your point. It's if you're, especially him at the moment, he's taking on a lot of projects, and it's kind of like, yeah, but if it's something that you particularly feel close and passionate and you want to have your own, you have a very specific take that you want to give it, and you want to hold on to those main reins, then you kind of do. But he is spreading himself a bit thin right now.
I mean, here's the difference. It's like...
Or busy is a better word for it. Busy.
For all her, she's like one of the biggest feminists in Hollywood, Jessica Chastain, and I love that about her. Why didn't she bring this to a female director? She's the one who brought it to Kinberg. It seems like an oversight.
Do you know who I would like to see doing something of this ilk? Elizabeth Banks, because... No, I would like to see her do something because comedically
she's working on Charlie's Angels. It's the same thing.
Yeah,
and it's literally referenced in the 355 story.
Right. Okay.
Chastain says, there's nothing else like this besides the Charlie's Angels movies.
Yeah, true.
I would have liked to have seen Leslie Lincoln Glatter get it. I just finished Homeland this week.
Oh,
season finale Homeland. Man, that show's fucking amazing, and she does a great job on it. And yeah. Okay, speaking of spies, IFC picked up Catcher Was a Spy. Paul Rudd movie that was at Sundance. It's not very good. It's pretty crusty, which is why it sold 5 months after Sundance and IFC. And in other Sundance acquisition news, Arizona, the Danny McBride movie, sold to RLJ. Another not very good movie.
Oh dear.
What's next on your list?
Okay, let's talk about the story that I started to rant before the show, and you said, keep it for the show, baby.
Yeah.
Keep it for the show. Paul Giamatti this week is the latest person to join the cast of Jungle Cruise. He's going to play like a crusty harbour master. Now...
I love it that they said crusty harbour master. Aren't all harbour masters crusty?
Kind of crusty. Barnacle-y. Okay, now I love Paul Giamatti. Paul Giamatti I see in countless movies, not doing a huge amount. He turns up, clearly he's doing it for the bucks, and he wants to buy a summer house or something in Malibu or whatever.
He's doing it for the billions.
Paul, do good Paul Giamatti movies. And that's great, where you headline. Please don't soil yourself by doing shitty bit parts.
What if it's good? What if this is the next Jumanji and we're all overlooking? I mean,
then
it has The Rock and Emily
Blunt.
Then
I will eat my hat.
You don't even wear a hat. I've never seen you with a hat. You keep your hat in the bag?
If you turn, yeah. No, I wear a hat all the time. I always carry a spare hat. No, but I mean, it's, I've got a bald head. It's like sunny out there. Be careful. But no, I just want to see a really good. He's done so many bit parts in movies over the last couple of years, and I'm like, Paul, what are you doing? But that Spider-Man cameo, the stuff that he did where he played Rhino, I was just like,
I guess that was his last sellout role.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I love Rock of Ages.
Role.
I mean, Rock of Ages, I thought he was great in that. That was a bigger role, but I see him pop up in so many things where I'm like, Paul. Paul
Giamatti's got to eat.
Yeah.
We all got to eat.
Nobody's that hungry.
I mean, look at who else joined other Disney movies.
I just want to see him do something big again.
I mean, Michelle Pfeiffer signs on to Maleficent 2 this week.
Yeah.
That's one where it's like, really? Like, you're kind of killing it with this comeback, and I don't know if that's the right project, but it's going to be a big movie, just like Jungle Cruise is, because it's Disney. And also Harris Dickinson.
It's just a waste.
Coming on to replace Brenton Thwaites in Maleficent 2. Do you think anyone will notice?
No.
He will be the prince, Elle Fanning's love interest. These guys are like interchangeable.
Yeah, I don't think anyone will notice. I don't think it's even about those characters, unless that's kind of what.
Dickinson's probably a better actor.
Yeah,
I loved him in Beach Rats, and he's on. He plays J. Paul Getty III in Trust.
Yes,
FX series.
But no, I don't think that'll be huge consequence.
It was just so funny, like reading that, and like Thwaites has a scheduling conflict with some like Crackle show, or I don't even know what the hell it is. It's like, was that it actually, or is Disney just like sick of putting this guy into huge movies?
Yeah, remember. Xavier Jones. We've got a couple of new viewers on the show this week, by the way. Xavier Jones Jr.
That's an audience member.
Wonders if you or I saw the Netflix Chris Rock and Adam Sandler film. No, life's too short. It looks painfully bad.
I'll put it this way: I love The Sandman. I will watch anything of his,
both of those
and I plan to
guys.
finish it. I watched the first half an hour, and my roommate was just kind of looking at me like, I can't believe you're making me watch this on a Sunday afternoon. We could be watching anything else. And I turned it off after a half hour. It was was hard to defend it. It was hard to be like, Ben, just give it a chance. Like, it was not good.
No, I love Sandler. I love Chris Rock. I just saw it looks mirthless. It genuinely looks. I just find it. It's not because I don't have enough time to waste on things that I know I'm probably not going to enjoy. Sometimes I'll take a risk, but I'm also kind of like, I just find it kind of sad when you see people who are great talents do something that you both know inside themselves is going, what the am I doing? It just saddens me. It's like seeing, an old singer brought out when you know their voice is screwed, and they go singing the songs, and goes, isn't that sad? I just don't want to. I don't want to enable that. If you don't watch it, they won't make them. I don't think. I'm a big supporter of Netflix, but I do not think that Netflix deal is necessarily a good thing for Adam Sandler, because I think it's allowing him to be less than he can be. I just think it's a bit of a shame, because he's still great.
It just starts so slow. The editing and the timing is off. The pacing. It should be him and Rock sort of up front. Like I thought that this was actually a really good idea for a movie. And again, I know I haven't finished it, but it wasn't great. Guy Ritchie.
Yep.
Doing another lock, stock, snatch kind of thing called Toff Guys. Tough Guys, but it's spelled Toff. That's an English thing, right?
Tough Guys.
Is that like a word, like toff? Is that how they say it?
Toff Guys, Toff.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Yeah, toff is someone who is wealthy, who's someone rich. If you're a toff, you're super posh. You're like, hello.
Okay. I'm toff.
Yeah, so what it probably is...
I'm looking at my notes. It says another horrible title. But you could have said that about almost all of his titles, like Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, Snatch. You could have called both those terrible titles, and they're actually really good and great movies.
Did people know in America when Snatch came out that Snatch is actually a colloquialism?
That was a thing, for sure.
I just never know.
The thing is it's only been a year since King Arthur. People have moved on from that very quickly. That was last year. And the only thing that really scared me at CinemaCon this year was Aladdin, where I was like, ooh, this could really not work. So the question is, will this be another Lock, Stock, or Snatch, or will this be another Revolver and whatever the other...
I didn't like Revolver.
Oh, God. Some of those later movies were terrible. I love that he's back in this genre, but again, could go either way.
Yeah, I mean, to me, outside of Lock, Stock, I think the best thing that Guy Ritchie has done is Man from U.N.C.L.E.
You didn't like Snatch?
I didn't like it as much as the others. I think certainly I would rank them. It would be Lock, Stock at top, Man from U.N.C.L.E. number 2, and then Snatch would probably be like 3, maybe. But I mean, I don't like a lot of the stuff that he's actually done.
I like Man from U.N.C.L.E. too.
Man from U.N.C.L.E. I thought was great. I'm still disappointed they haven't. Pardon me, I'm belching in the microphone. I'm still disappointed they haven't sort of expanded on that franchise sooner, because I really liked it. That to me was him doing a really good Hollywood movie. But yeah, no, Tough Guys. I'm going to assume that's going to be something about rich or posh or high level society gangsters in some sort of thing, or maybe it'll be them being at the high end of civilized society and then doing something that you would usually associate with the lower end, the murky underground. That's what I'm going to assume that is.
Well, I'm looking at Twitter, and I'm just, it's depressing.
Don't look at Twitter.
It's depressing out there. There's all this stuff I don't want to know about. Like Ryan Reynolds confirming TJ Miller won't be back for X-Force.
Someone just mentioned that.
I don't want to know this stuff before Deadpool 2. Half of the things I'm reading are like interviews with the Russos, who are confirming different fan theories about different Infinity Stones. It's like, this should be in the movie. I don't need you confirming things to some blog I've never heard of. It's just so ridiculous that the people who have access to these guys and why they have to over-explain everything. And this other screenwriters, Marcus and McFeely, coming out and saying the deaths are real. No, they're not. They're not.
Do you want to actually? Something that after the show last week when we were talking about Infinity War, there was a lot of people. Some people who I can only assume have never seen the show before were clearly looking for shows, content out there where people had discussed Infinity War to basically disagree. So trying to say that we don't understand what a crossover movie is. We didn't understand the plot of Infinity War. You don't need character development in a movie when you've got a lot of people in it, and it's it is the movie that it is, which I fundamentally disagree with all of those comments. And one thing that people were talking about, and someone actually mentioned, who's a regular review on the show, was talking about the spoiling, talking about Hulk not being in it a lot, and it was a spoiler. What we're in a really weird place in the industry now, certainly from a fan point of view, and social media is a big part of this, where people are desperately, for like the 2 years from when a project is announced to the time that it hits the screen, people are desperately, they're frothing, at the prospect of finding anything out about a movie that is oh my God, what's going to happen? Is this going to do blah, blah, blah? Is this person going to be in it? Who's going to be the cameo?
Know
blah, blah,
all
blah.
this stuff
But
ahead of time.
But then the minute the movie hits movie theaters, everyone's like, shut the fuck up, don't spoil it. I'm like, you have spent 2 years trying to find out every single thing about this movie.
Yep.
And when it comes out and you can spend $15 to go and see it, you piss your pants because don't tell me you have spent 2 years trying to find out this exact thing.
I always thought that was the drawback of this job, was actually knowing too much.
It is sometimes. It's avoid if you don't want to go and see the movie the first day that it comes out, or don't look at anything and certainly don't seek it out until you've seen the movie.
I just don't know who clicks on this stuff and why people
just
write
find it weird. And here's my Infinity War theory, by the way, because people are like...
And the studios encourage it. The studios give these people access to things early because that's the kind of coverage they want. They don't care what the coverage is. They just want people clicking on it. It's just... The industry is fucking cannibalizing itself, both industries. The media industry and the Hollywood.
It is. But also, I mean, I have nothing to say on that. It's like, don't go to sites where they don't pay people to contribute. I think that's a disgrace. But also, I have to say, I think that a lot of people are talking about the deaths in Infinity War. And we know they're deaths. There's no spoiler. It's been out for a week now. And people were saying you don't understand how the gauntlet works. I totally understand how the gauntlet works. And I think my theory for the end of that movie is the fact that, in fact, obviously they're not dead because we know some of the characters have got other movies coming up within the Marvel Universe. But I think that reality at the end of the movie where people are apparently dead is actually not real, because in the movie Thanos created several alternative versions of environments that people are in, and I don't even think they're even dead. I think they're just there and they can't see them.
The explanation will be like, they're dead, but then they go back through time and they unkill them.
Yeah, you can do the turning back time.
Technically they were actually dead. It's all nonsense. It's all ridiculous.
At the end of the day, Jeff, it doesn't matter.
Ant-Man and the Wasp can't get here soon enough.
I'm
so excited for an actual good fucking superhero movie, which I'm sure that will be, because Peyton Reed knows what the fuck he's doing.
Do you know why? Even my wife wants to see that, and she is not interested in this Marvel kind of stuff generally at all. But no, at the end of the day, none of this stuff around like Infinity War, who's dead, who's not dead, is it real, blah, 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 you don't understand, it's a crossover, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't matter. People get very upset about this stuff. It doesn't matter.
Ask you
it's
about
just a movie.
All the memes, though. You've seen all the memes with like things, his mustache, Henry Cavill's mustache disintegrating, and the Frasier one disintegrating. I think it's just proof that ending sucked. Everyone's making fun of it. Even if they like the movie and they like the ending, they're making fun of it. I don't know. How this movie broke the record is fucking beyond me.
I totally understand the movie. I totally understand everything about it, the plot, where it fits into the Marvel Universe. And there are many things I loved in that movie. I had a really great time watching it. There are other things that didn't satisfy me. And if other people were satisfied by that, that is totally fine. I'm not telling you that's not cool. But at the end of the day, none of this matters. It is just a movie. Don't take it so seriously.
There's a whole bunch of shit
Let's talk about J.J. Abrams.
Sure.
J.J. Abrams and Julius Avery, he's the guy who's directed Overlord. They're going to produce a superhero project, a bad robot. Nothing really more on it than that.
Right. It's called The Heavy. It's written by Dan Casey, and I really like Julius Avery's Son of a Gun, which nobody has seen.
Son of a Gun's great.
Not a lot of people have seen that movie. With Ewan McGregor and Brenton Thwaites.
Yeah.
Easily the best thing Brenton Thwaites has ever done.
It's streaming at the moment.
I'm sure it was a while ago. It's on iTunes. I bought it. I actually purchased it at the time, so I own it in my iTunes library. I'm a believer in Julius Avery. I thought he directed the hell out of that movie. He got rewarded with the Bad Robot gig, and it's a good sign for Overlord that they're keeping him around on another one.
Which is good. I know very little about Overlord, but I'm, I certainly love the idea of a bad robot doing a superhero project.
Isabella Moner cast as Dora the Explorer.
Yes, probably best known for Transformers Last Night, right?
Yeah, Nickelodeon star. I love that Paramount is keeping her in the family and sort of building her up into like an in-house movie star in a sense. A lot of people had sort of predicted that one. I don't really have anything to say. I've never seen Dora Explorer. I'm not going to see this movie. Hasbro acquired the Power Rangers.
Yep.
Is that going to have ramifications for the franchise? Will
I
they
think
reboot
it is.
again? Will
They're going to reboot.
Will they have a universe thing where they put the Power Rangers in with Rom and whatever else?
I mean, that would make absolute sense. They would be crazy if they don't do that. But I mean, obviously, after the last Power Rangers movie, which I didn't think was terrible, I actually did enjoy it. It was far from perfect, but it was good fun. I think they will just look at this as doing a new franchise, and I think in 2 years we're going to have a new Power Rangers movie. They wouldn't invest in this level, in this kind of IP, if they didn't have some sort of plans for it, whether that's TV, whether that's like a Netflix series, or whether that is something that appears in the big screen. But I think that Power Rangers that we saw last year is not going to return. I think they're going to start again with that.
I'm out on Power Rangers. I don't care. It might as well be Dora the Explorer to me. Some controversial stuff.
Yeah.
Roman Polanski and Bill Cosby kicked out of the Academy this week.
Yeah.
What do you think of this?
I think that's totally justifiable. There's a code of conduct for these places.
Now there is.
Well, now there is, and I think that this is absolutely right. I think if you want to be part of that organization, those organizations have to be seen as responsible, and they have to, eject members who don't.
So do you equate them as the same as having done the same thing?
No, I don't.
No,
I do not.
This is a very, very slippery slope for the Academy to be going down. I do think it was a reactive PR move. I understand kicking Cosby out. He was convicted in a court of law this week. Polanski is a different thing. I don't know about that one. They gave him the Academy Award 15 years ago. Like, I don't know. The Academy has made some decisions of late that just kind of back up its own irrelevancy. I mean, that's why the ratings are going down on the Oscars each year. The Golden Globes will almost surpass it, like, within the next 5 years.
Yeah.
To me, the Academy just lives in this bubble where they can do no wrong, and it's embarrassing. If you start handing out the award for Best Picture produced by a bunch of squeaky clean people, that's a problem.
We're never going to have squeaky clean people in the industry. There's always going to be that glistening underbelly of grimness.
Obviously,
because
Polanski,
there'll always be people that will take advantage.
Millions of words have been written about Polanski by people far smarter than I over the last few decades. But I just don't see that as the same thing, nor do I see their contributions to film as the same thing. Bill Cosby and Roman Polanski, how are these guys getting grouped together? It's weird.
No, I mean, I think both of them as individuals, I think it's right that they be expelled, and I think, you have to do this. Like Don Draper has said in the chat that, it's quite late. It's a little gesture too late.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why 15 years later do you give a guy an Oscar, and then 15 years later you kick him out without any conversation? He was blindsided, he said.
But yes, and I agree with that. However, I do think that there has to be accountability at some point, and if that comes down 15 years down the road, then it comes 15 years down the road rather than not doing it at all.
Woody's still in the Academy, right?
Yeah.
Bizarre to kick Roman out and not Woody. I guess Roman confessed. He admitted that he did it, but
and I think that's the difference, but. But to be honest with you, I think if everybody in Hollywood who had done something that was, let's just say off color, was kicked out of every organization.
Rape is obviously more than off color, but
well, I'm using that as a very broad, as a thing.
It's not the Academy. I just don't believe it's the Academy's place to be making this judgment.
But I think certainly on Cosby that they don't have any choice, and I think what they've done is right.
He was convicted for a lot. He's the one who should have been kicked out even before Harvey, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
Elsewhere, Gabe Sherman writing the Apprentice movie about the rise of Donald Trump. This is another example of Hollywood talking out of both sides of its mouth. They say, we hate the guy, but hey, he's here.
Let's make money off
him. How
him.
are we going to make money off him? Exactly. This is Hollywood doing its part to help make America great again. I don't know why America needs this fucking movie.
I wouldn't go to see it. not just because I don't agree with Trump and I don't agree with his politics. I just don't want to see it. It's not someone I know everything I need to know about Donald Trump, and I think his supporters won't go and see it because they'll feel that unless it's anything other than glowing, that they don't think it's supportive of Donald Trump, and people who aren't interested in Donald Trump won't want to see it anyway, and unless it's a complete character. I don't know why you would make this movie. Unless after, say, he died.
I realize that his rise is very interesting. This kind of thing. I can actually see where there might be a movie, but I think it's morally wrong.
I agree with you.
I hate to think of art like that. Like I'm telling an artist what they should or shouldn't be making, but this rubs me the wrong way.
I can guarantee. Let's go back. Let's say if someone was accused of doing something terrible within the industry, and then someone was like, "Let's make a movie about it." I can guarantee there would be uproar against that. They're making a Harvey Weinstein movie.
There was no fucking uproar. The uproar was right here on the show. I think I was the only one fucking talking about the Harvey Weinstein thing.
And people talked about the sale as well, and saying, it's very, very wrong that some of the money from that sale is not going to restitution for.
I'm not saying don't make movies about bad people. You want to make an Adolf Hitler movie, make an Adolf Hitler movie. It doesn't get worse than him. Trump is not worse than Hitler. Sorry.
No, he's not. He is not.
But maybe it's just the timing. It smacks of he's an opportunist. Yeah, it is. Bits and bobs. We got to wrap up this show, dude. Michael B. Jordan doing something called Failsafe.
Yep.
Any thoughts? Sounds like a generic crap movie to me. He's got to be careful on what he's putting his production company's name on. Benedict Cumberbatch to star in a Soviet spy movie called Ironbark. Did you read that one this week?
I did not.
Again, didn't sound very terribly interesting. Woody Harrelson and Mandy Moore are doing Roland Emmerich's Midway. Is this a pairing? This is a pairing that people are going to pay money to see. Woody Harrelson and Mandy Moore.
Mandy Moore is very popular after This Is Us now, and 47 meters below.
In a Roland Emmerich Battle of Midway movie.
I don't know.
Ben Kingsley is Salvador Dali in Daliland, directed by Mary Herron. Who is this for?
I don't know. You asked me. I don't know.
Ron Howard directing The Warehouse. Which Imagine optioned for him. It's about a powerful corporation. It sounds like The Circle, which was awful.
That was awful.
John Cena stepping in for The Rock in the Jansen direct.
It is only a matter of time before he and The Rock are in a movie together. I would buy a ticket for that.
I would love to. Yeah, no, that would be.
I don't buy a ticket for a lot of things. It'd be an
interesting pairing. What could you remake with the two of them? Like Over the Top or something. But you need something better than Over the Top.
Tango and Cash.
Tango and Cash. That's not bad. That's a good suggestion.
9 to 5 with The Rock and John Cena.
First of all, they are definitely going to be doing a 9 to 5 remake for sure.
Yeah. But take something that was female focused.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's like Issa Rae or Gina Rodriguez or somebody.
Thelma and Louise remake. With The Rock and John Cena.
More terrible titles. Dylan O'Brien and Micah Monroe. The Education of Frederick Fitzel. Liam Neeson doing Charlie Johnson in the Flames.
Fitzel.
Yeah.
Fritzl?
Frederick Fitzel.
Oh, okay.
No, not Fritzl.
Not Fritzl.
No.
Okay.
Liam Neeson doing Charlie Johnson in the Flames. Who comes up with these titles?
Drunk people. Charlie's Johnson and the Flames.
Our friends at Mandeville.
Yeah.
David Hoverman, Ty Lieberman, heading to Universal. Love those guys. Mm-hmm. Kind of glad that they're out of Disney. They're going to have a little bit more freedom to spread their wings at Universal. There was a little bit of movement in the Weinstein Company and Relativity sales stuff. If you're interested in that, go to Deadline. I don't give a shit enough to talk about it. James Wan producing Swamp Thing for TV.
Yes.
Do we know about this?
We had an idea about it, and we discussed Swamp Thing recently.
We didn't know if it was TV or movie or what.
Yeah. I said recently I like Swamp Thing. I'm very, very happy about this.
Helen Mirren and Danny DeVito joining the one and only Ivan over at Disney. God, that Danny DeVito thing I've held for months and months and kept getting.
I would like to see
deal stalling.
When I saw that, I was like, please say it's a Twins remake. Please say it's a Twins remake.
Twins is going to get remade too.
Tonight is your next.
It's just about a question of who.
Tonight is your next.
There's a young actor who caught my eye this week, Jonathan Majors. He booked the male lead in Lovecraft Country, the HBO show from Jordan Peele, and he also booked one of the leads in The Last Black Man in San Francisco, which is an A24 movie produced by Plan B, which means attention must be paid. Jonathan Majors, keep an eye on him. Sam Raimi and Alexander Aja teaming up for a low-budget horror movie at Paramount titled Crawl. Mm-hmm. That's about
is that about Justin?
Crawl. Actually, it's about an alligator.
Oh.
It's been a long time since we've had, I mean, I guess, well, it's been a few weeks since there was Rampage, right? Yeah. But remember that, like, the movie Alligator?
They're like buses.
This is about, like, I think a house in Florida that begins to flood. And so a gator gets in there and starts to terrorize, like a family in a house. It sounds great. Paramount chasing the low-budget horror dollars after A Quiet Place. Mel Gibson to direct the naval thriller, I don't even know what it was called. I didn't even write it down. It's about kamikaze attacks. He's courting Mark Wahlberg for it. Mark Wahlberg's courting him, trying to get him a role in $6 Billion Man.
Yes.
This is after they worked in Daddy's Home 2 together.
I like that movie.
Is this the most unlikely pairing in Hollywood? Like, is this going to be a new thing? Mel Gibson and Mark Wahlberg?
In Tango and Cash.
In Tango and Cash.
Yeah. Let's talk also about Movie Pass resuming their one movie per day.
I might sign up for it.
It's pretty good. I've got to be honest with you. We talked about this on the show the other day when it was it went down to like 4 movies a month. Do you know what? That was still a good deal. If you're paying $9.99 and you get 4 movies a month, obviously the difference between that and like 30 movies a month is considerably different. But even 4 movies a month would be still a pretty good deal. But you know what? I'm not surprised they've gone back. There was a lot of backlash off that. I still do not understand how they make that work as a business model, though.
Gary Dauberman, the screenwriter, to direct a 3rd Annabelle movie.
Yes.
Doll movies, man, they're coming back.
I didn't like Annabelle. I loved the prequel. I would kind of leave it there, but that's that Conjuring universe.
It's good to see. It's always good to see a screenwriter sort of ascend the ranks. Yeah, I have a couple of things I could mention right now, but I'm going to try and hold out and see if they'll hold until I get a job. There was one thing that caught my eye this week, though. Dan Trachtenberg, 4 days ago, signed on to direct the pilot for Amazon's The Boys.
Yes.
Replacing Rogen and Goldberg.
Yes.
What are Rogen and Goldberg doing next? Has anybody checked into that? Have we heard?
Hey, I'm just saying this. They're looking for directors for Black Widow.
Yeah. They developed The Boys. They were with that project for a while.
Yeah.
To just leave and not direct the pilot, they must have something brewing. I heard that they're working on something called alt-right. I don't know if it is about the alt-right or if it just has the title alt-right, or maybe it's about some guys who get confused for members of the alt-right. I don't know, but I've heard Rogen and Goldberg have something brewing called alt-right. I think that'll do it for us. I'm going to save these other 2 things for maybe next week or someone who's willing to pay me for them. Simon?
Yeah.
Anything you want to plug?
Yeah, I've got a load of stuff going up, either gone up this week on Forbes or various other places. So check out my stuff with the cast of Cobra Kai. I'll have another interview going up in the next couple of days with Martin Cove.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So there's that. I've also done a piece with Eugenio Derbez, whose film Overboard comes out. We'll just very quickly do box office. Overboard this week, and his company 3Pass.
Is that the only new release? That and Tully? Overboard and Tully?
That and Tully are the main ones this week. It's very quiet because obviously next week.
Are either one of those going to break 5 million?
Overboard is going to do is on target to do 15.2 and take second place, and then Tully is 4.1. Last night it took Overboard took 675,000 in previews, which is not too shabby. So yeah, we could see a big opening for that. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. It's fine.
A decent opening.
It's decent. Yeah. And then also I have a couple of others. I talked to Dean Devlin this week and Legion M about their new movie Bad Samaritan, which is out this weekend.
Was it good? Did you see it?
Surprisingly good, actually.
I want to see it. I think it looks good.
It is worth checking out.
I'm going to track that down.
Yeah, and Legion M are doing some really, really good things in the industry. And then I also have a couple of other things coming up next week on Forbes, which people will be very interested in. And then I'm seeing Solo on Thursday.
Oh, wow. Fancy pants, you.
Fancy pants. What about yourself, Jeff?
I'm laying low. I'm just trying to provoke a fight between Donnie Wahlberg and Kevin Hart. Because Kevin Hart was sitting courtside at the Celtics game last night, jumping around like a fucking bunny rabbit.
Yeah.
And my Celtics came back to win to go up 2-0, and I was trying to get Donnie Wahlberg to sign a broom for Kevin Hart. Because he's the Celtics mascot. But that'll do it for me. I am at The Insider on Twitter and Instagram.
Yep.
Thank you, as always, for watching the Popcorn Talk Network. Make sure to rate, comment, subscribe.
Tell your friends I'm at
Tell your priests.
Simon.
Your priests would
tell
love
your
us.
priests. There's a lot. Yeah, they would.
First Reformed coming up soon with Ethan Hawke. Have a good weekend, folks.
Have a good one.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network. From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro,
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of its owners or principals.